So said. Welcome to Travel Happens. Dale, I mean, we were just talking a little bit ago, and one of the things about travel is it can be really expensive. And we were kind of looking at some friends. My wife right now is kind of helping some friends look at a way to get to Punta Cana. And, we were looking for ways to save while traveling. And, you actually have some pretty extensive travel in your background, stuff that some people have never gotten to do, some people that would love to be able to kind of have some of the experiences that you've had. And we were talking about road trips the other day. And you had some really unique ways to save when you were talking about getting out and vacationing and stuff. And what were some of those things that you were talking about when you were on your last massive road trip?
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those often overlooked kind of modes of travel that a lot of people, they kind of overlook it nowadays. The good old fashioned American road trip. I don't know anything that's more American than a road trip. I mean, we have amazing road infrastructure. It leads you to literally anywhere you want to go. So it's definitely a way if you're looking to save some money, especially with the lower gas prices that we've seen the last 6 months or so. Fuel's cheap right now. When I went on a road trip, and the extensive road trip that you're talking about, Tim, just to let all the viewers know, I did a 16,000-mile road trip throughout kind of the Pacific Northwest, but it went all the way from Utah through Colorado into Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, the whole West Coast, New Mexico. I mean, I did it all. So with that, one of the ways, I was on a budget, obviously. I ended up traveling for 16 months straight. And one of the ways I saved money was I kind of leveraged technology. So I used this app for my smartphone called Gas Buddy, and it was great. I could actually plan out ahead. So if I knew I had 300 miles till, I ran out of gas, I could kind of look at where I was going, go to the major cities, and kind of see who had the lowest gas prices, kind of based off of states. States have different taxes. So oftentimes I could save 20, 30 cents a gallon. And sometimes even in the same town, if I was just looking to fill up, it would say hey, if you go 2 miles off the beaten path, you can find gas for 20 cents less a gallon. So that was a great way for me to save some cash. It's kind of a race against a bank account when I went on my road trip. So I kind of really found that helpful. And also, it's really up to date with Gas Buddy. If you sign up for it, you can add what current gas prices are at gas stations that you see, and you earn points, and then you can actually win free gas by participating in that kind of community. So could end up actually making you some money if you're doing it that way. And with that, I also read an interesting study recently that most gas prices that are reported on Gas Buddy, they're lower. 65% of gas stations report a lower price on weekends. So if you're looking for a weekend getaway, go ahead and do it. I mean, you're going to save some money on the gas. And if you go with friends or family, you put 2, 3, 4 people in a car, split that fuel cost up. I mean, it gets really economical. But that's kind of my road trip story, but that's a little bit different. It's just me and my girlfriend, and when I was traveling, it was just me. But Tim, I'd love to hear about your take on it, because you've got a family of 5. You got your wife and 3 little ones. So it'd be interesting to hear your take on road trips when you guys take them.
Well, we do love to road trip. Our rule is kind of a 5-hour radius. If it's over 5 hours, we'll generally fly. But man, we also learned about road trips with children. Tablets with Bluetooth headphones are key. You put them in the back seat, they got entertainment. They don't realize that hours have gone by. And we'll trek up to maybe Atlanta or up to North Carolina and go see my parents. And sometimes it's just fun hanging out in the car. And like you say, depending, we've gotten to the point where, we normally travel on the weekends or the off time. So if we're shooting up there, we'll wait because we know, okay, hey, we're going to hit that last exit in this state because we know the gas is a little bit cheaper kind of. But now that we know that there's technology out there, because I didn't know about Gas Buddy. I just learned about that the other day. So that's pretty cool. We'll definitely take advantage of that. But like I said, outside of that 5 hours, we fly. We didn't mind doing the car thing, but once we realized that we could take a 5-hour trip and turn it into about an hour, with children, that was kind of a more, economical way of sanity for us to get around as a family. That's just the way it was, just easier. We get to the airport, but we time our airport travel in the off-peak time, so it's not like we're standing in some ridiculously long line at the airport to get through security. We're able to kind of wean our way through and ninja-like through the airport. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of other travel that goes on besides regular consumer travel. There's a lot of business travel. So if you try and fly like on a Monday, I tell you what, trying to get out of here, we're down in Jacksonville, Florida. You try and get out of here on a Monday, it's hard. Those flights are full, and they start full early because you got those business travelers trying to get out. And then if you're going through like Atlanta, which is one of the biggest airports, business airports in the world, you got a lot of business travel going through there. So if you can fly on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, Saturday, getting into those off-peak times, it's a lot easier to get through the airports. But you're also going to save money on that ticket, because the tickets are cheaper to fly in the off times, and you're not battling with that business travel, because that business travel is a big beast when it comes to the airline industry. It's a huge part of it, so it's happening regardless. You can always check with your travel agent about travel insurance, especially if you're traveling during like the hurricane or monsoon season. Dale, we were talking about this the other day about getting through Europe, and another thing was your credit cards and the type of credit cards you use for points and stuff. You had a special credit card that you were using for travel.
Yeah. First, I do want to just touch real quick on that travel insurance. I mean, if you're looking for a way to save money, it might be worth to spend a little bit of money, because that travel insurance, especially if you're planning a trip like months out, you have no idea what's going to happen as far as weather and as far as like flight delays or cancellations. And so it really is important, rather than lose out on, say, thousands of dollars because you're not able to make it to your trip, spending an extra like $60 might be able to save that money. So definitely check with your travel agent about that. And we were talking, you're right, Tim, we were talking about credit cards, and it's a great way to earn points for travel, whether it be frequent flyer miles or just travel points in general. I have a few credit cards. One of them, I get free insurance when I rent a car with it. So if I go to Hertz or Enterprise and I rent a car, I don't have to pay that $8 a day for that insurance, because just by using this American Express card, one of the benefits of it is it comes with insurance. So I get to drive around, not have to worry about, if I get in an accident or not. And I don't have to worry about spending that $8 a day, which adds up pretty quickly when you're 3, 4, 5 days out. I also have another credit card that I use. It gives me double reward points, like double cash back, if I redeem it for something I've already purchased with travel. So an example is, say I buy, I have like $25 worth of points I can redeem, and I redeem it for something that's travel based, like a car rental, a flight, or maybe my subway ticket even here in New York. Instead of getting $25 back, I get $50 credit onto my statement. So it's just another way, pennies add up, and it's a great way to earn points and earn some free money as well. So definitely, that's a good way to go. And I think lastly, you touched on about Europe and kind of off-peak times when to travel, Tim. And it's true. I mean, I'm always going to recommend you speak to a travel agent. The amount of research that goes into this stuff is crazy. So save yourself that time. The economical sanity, I think, is the term that Tim just coined. So save yourself that economical sanity, and consult a travel agent. They're going to be able to tell you when the best times to fly are. So if you want to go to Europe, the winter time's going to be the cheapest times to go. I believe the Caribbean, actually, the best time to go is during peak season. Don't ask me why, but that just seems to be the case. And if you're really looking to save money, flexibility is going to be the best thing, when it comes to hotels, or when it comes to flights, when it comes to cruises, all inclusives, whatever, is that flexibility gives you the ability to kind of go on the days that not everyone else is going, which is kind of what we're going with here, so having like a flexible schedule, flexible lifestyle is definitely going to help out with that. So I guess we'll just roll right into cruises now. Tim, I guess I'll let you start off with this about cruises. I believe we were talking about like expensive places to go. You can actually save some money on cruises if you want to tackle that.
Well, yeah, cruises just make it really easy to travel, especially with families. So maybe you're kind of like us, where you've got children, or you want to, another thing that you can do is to save on cruises is travel with groups, because generally if somebody's going with a group, so maybe we're doing a family reunion, it's really awesome, because a lot of times, depending on the cruise line, you can earn points, or, depending on how many rooms are booked, that 8th stateroom is free. So there's lots of little extra perks that really you want to consult with your travel professional, because they're going to be the one to be able to help you get these things. Now, something you were saying yesterday about price parity. And I think we kind of want to, let's cover a little bit of myth about cruise pricing. And I'm going to let Dale explain price parity because he was explaining it to me yesterday. I'm not really the cruise guru. I like this gentleman over here. He can tell you about a lot of the other cruise ships. So Dale, can you hit on price parity real quick?
Absolutely. So price parity, it just means like price equilibrium. It's equal pricing. And what that means is if you go to a cruise ship and you want to go on like a 7-day cruise to Bermuda out of New York City, what you find on like Norwegian Cruise Line's website, you're not going to find that price isn't going to be lower than what a travel agent can give you. It just means that the pricing is equal all the way around. So that way, everybody who's selling that product has an equal playing field to play on, if that makes sense. So when it comes to booking a cruise, it just makes sense to speak to your travel agent about it. There's a reason why 87% of all cruises are booked through a travel agent. And the main reason for that is, even though all pricing will be the same, if you have a travel agent and you talk to them about the cruise that you want to go on, they can look and see what promotions, what special deals are going on that might be able to give you like an extra package for, like, say, drinks or for a shore excursion, something like that. And Tim was kind of hitting on it with group travel. Now, this might get a little technical. Basically, what I'm saying is always check with your travel agent, because travel agents and travel agencies, and host travel agencies, will often take out group, like on a cruise, they'll take out group space. And what's key here to understand is that groups get special amenities and perks that most other travelers aren't going to get. And it's also important to know that just because you can get put in with a group doesn't mean you have to know those people, talk to those people, be any way associated with them. This is a great way that travel agents and travel agencies kind of cater and give a little bit of special treatment to their guests. So basically, like, say our host travel agency, Travelution, say we have 50 cabins that we've booked for a sailing somewhere. That just means that we're going to be able to offer special discounts and promotions, maybe lower deposits, maybe free drink packages, maybe higher onboard credits that are special discounts for being able to book a group. But that just means that if we have clients that want to go on that cruise, we can put them 2-3 cabins, and they're going to get the same benefits of being in that group, but they're not even going to know that they're in that group. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a little technical, but basically what it just means is just pay attention and speak to your travel agent, because they're definitely going to be able to get you the best deal and get you the best value for your money when it comes to cruises. So I know we've kind of talked about this before, but about like going to Hawaii, Alaska, Bermuda, those are all places that are really expensive to go for, like, if you're going to get hotel or lodging. And a cruise just really makes sense because you're paying for that cruise space. You're not paying like $200-300 a night to stay there. You're actually being able to have your floating palace go there. So it just becomes economical if you're looking to go to one of those places as well. So Tim, I know you love all-inclusive resorts. So I guess I'm going to kick it back over to you to talk about the value you get out of those.
You're right, because with an all-inclusive resort, it's kind of like the cruise experience on land. And we found as a family, it was much more economical to go to an all-inclusive resort versus just trying to go somewhere, and have to pay for food and everything. And please consult with your travel professional. If you're tuning in, this is Travel Happens. If you have questions about ways to save on your travel, you can put that in the contact form below, and we'll be able to get those questions answered for you. And right now, we're just really talking about the ways to save overall on your travel. And the all-inclusive resorts is a big one, because every all-inclusive is not created equal, and your travel professional will know this, because maybe some all-inclusives, it says it includes your drink package, but when you get there, you're drinking, stuff that is the bottom of the well, so you maybe that's not really what you expected when you were going there. The thing about an all-inclusive is when you get there, your wallet goes in a safe, and that should really be the last time you have to take it out. So prime example, as a family of 5, we got to go to Club Med not too long ago. Now, this was a unique trip because our awesome host agency actually took us on this trip for free. And it was really cool because as a family, a lot of times when you go someplace, you're trying to kind of cater to everybody when it comes to their taste and what they like. And you know, with the Club Med, they had an amazing variety of food. I mean, you could go anywhere from, they had Jamaican food, they have different types of fish, and you know, and everything was fresh. So every one of our kids found something that they liked it for every meal. It wasn't hard to get anybody food, and I didn't have to pay for every meal. Now, when we went to Aruba and we made the mistake of not staying in an all-inclusive, man, every meal was $100 a pop. It was crazy. It was just really expensive. So imagine doing that 3 times a day with a family of 5. You know, it was much more economical to be able to go stay at a resort where I didn't have to think about food. I didn't have to worry about, you know, getting to some restaurant, calling a cab, renting a car. I didn't have to do any of that. I was able to just stay there and have a good time. And one of the things, you know, I'm always a big fan of Club Med for the all-inclusive because there's like 67 of them. They're all over the world. So different flavors for different folks, for anything that you're looking for, but they are really big on children. And that was a big thing for us. Vacationing as adults and having our kids with us and still getting to have a vacation, because I wasn't worried about my child getting sucked out into the undertow. I didn't have to worry about something crazy happening because they had mini Club Med where we could take our kids and drop them off and not like sitting in front of an Xbox, you know, melting their brain. Like they had a real vacation. They were doing cooking classes and trapeze, and my son was swinging on a rope trying to knock this dude off this thing. I mean, it was just like Tarzan. It was great. They had a lot of fun. In fact, to the point where they're asking us, when are we going to the next one? That's where they want to do all their birthdays going forward. Every year they're planning a different Club Med right now. You show them a good time once, you know, you're just kind of stuck. You got to do it over and over and over again.
That's funny when your kids get to that age where they're like, this is what I want to do for my birthday, right? It's funny. I was just going to say, I wanted to touch on the all-inclusives too, for the fact that, again, it's always good to talk to your travel agent, and I have a perfect example why. It's important to understand the difference between price and value, right? Price is what you're going to pay for something, and then value is what you're going to get. So I was just looking for an all-inclusive resort for a client of mine. She wanted to celebrate her 25th birthday, and she wanted to swim with dolphins. She wanted to go where there's beautiful beaches, and she wanted to swim with dolphins. Those were the 2 criteria she gave me. And she gave me a budget of like anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000 per person to go. Well, I ended up finding an awesome resort in Jamaica, right there with Dolphin Cove. So swimming with dolphins is right there. And swimming with dolphins is usually something that you pay extra for. Well, I found this resort. I did a bunch of research. I got her the King Suite with the butler service. So when she's on the beach and she wants a pina colada, the butler comes out with the drink on a tray and gives her a drink. And I also got her 2 25-minute massages with that are included, a complimentary bottle of wine or liquor when you check into your room, free internet. A lot of these places, they'll charge for internet. This was included, free Wi-Fi. And I also got her $1,500 resort credit. Now that was awesome, because what would have cost, like, say it's $260 for like the best package for swimming with the dolphins, well, she can use this resort credit for that. She can use up to $300 of that for spa treatments if she wants something above and beyond that 25-minute massage. So basically, you know, this package with airfare and everything was $4,300 for 2 people. So I knocked it out of the park. I found her a great deal that was below what she wanted to spend, included everything she wanted and more. And I did that by doing some research, and that's why having a travel agent's really cool. You know, that's a price that she wouldn't be able to find on her own, and I got some extra amenities and perks in there. So great value. And like I said, included $1,500 resort credit. She doesn't have to spend all of it, but she can if she wants. And she's going to be there for 6 days, airfare, everything included. So, you know, I spent a little bit more money. Maybe I think it was like $65 more to get all of that, but the value you get out of it is way more. So always keep in mind the difference between price and value. And that's where reading all that fine print comes into play, which is why it's nice to have these travel agent eyes be looking for you, because we know what to look for and how to find all of that. So, Tim, I'm not sure. I think, did we cover everything? Is there anything else that we should add to this?
Ooh, hotels.
Oh, how could we forget about hotels?
Yeah, hotels. I mean, that's like a biggest one, right? We were just talking about hotels. So with hotels, you definitely, there's off and peak times with hotels, just like rental cars and flights and stuff like that. So if you're going to get your hotel, you know, think about like on the weekends, you know, generally the prices, you can get some better deals on the weekends. And you know, and if you get your hotel earlier, a lot of times you'll get a better rate if you book your stuff in advance. Don't wait to book to the last minute. Generally, it ends up costing you more money anyway. Dale, did you have anything else you wanted to throw in on hotels? And what was our topic for next week?
Yeah, I think what I'd like to throw with hotels is, you know, each hotel is different. Each city is going to be a little different, and different hotels cater to different clientele. Tim kind of hit on it in the beginning of this little webinar hangout, that there's business travelers, there's leisure travelers, and some hotels cater to business travelers, some travel to leisure travelers. And so you can find really good deals going to those business hotels, leisure travel on the weekends, because they're usually dead on the weekends. There's no business there because the business people travel Monday through Friday. So by utilizing your travel agent's knowledge about knowing which hotel chains kind of travel cater to who, and what cities are more popular destinations for leisure versus business, you can save some money that way as well. And I believe what we're going to be talking about next week, in fact, I'm going to solidify it right now, is we're going to be talking about cruise myths. There's a lot of myths that are out there, and it's kind of been a hot topic if you paid attention to the news at all with cruise ships. So we thought that would be a really good topic to cover. We've had some people kind of comment they want to hear a little bit more about cruises. So a lot of people actually haven't been out there yet. So we wanted to go ahead and knock out some cruise myths. So with that, you can catch us next Wednesday at 9 p.m. will be the new show. Tim, anything else you want to add before we close this on out?
No, Dale, as always, man, I really appreciate you just allowing me to have the opportunity to do this with you. This is just awesome. Every time I learn something new, and we're just having a blast, man. This has really been a great opportunity. So travel happens as usual. If you guys do have questions and you do want to be able to know more about whether it's being an agent or maybe you have questions about travel, just contact us below in that box. We'd love to hear from you. We really appreciate all the positive feedback. It's been absolutely awesome. People all around the world have been contacting us, somebody in Ukraine the other day. So it's just been really neat, because remember, travel is a worldwide thing. It doesn't just happen here in the States. So travel happens. I'm Tim. I really appreciate you, Dale.
Travel Ninja Dale signing out. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, 9 p.m. We'll see you then.